So today we're going to be speaking to someone I've known for quite a few years now, about 4 years or so. Myself and Raf have been chatting online. I think we kind of started through Instagram, love of green cars, both building cars as well ourselves, and just kind of went from there, chatting almost every day. Just a really interesting, good friendship. And I think it was last year we met. We went over, Lee and I went over to Alpine Vag Fair and finally got to meet him in person. And one thing I was kind of worried about was I was like, I've been speaking to this guy online, and I remember thinking to myself, what if he's an asshole in person? And it never entered my head was like, what if I was an asshole? But no, it worked out well. He's a good guy, and he is an absolutely incredible Mark 1 Cabriolet, which Mark 1 Cabriolets are never really done to such a high standard, but this thing is amazing. So we'll see, can we add him into the conversation here? Let's see, does he reply? Hello, sir.
Hello, young man.
How's it going?
It's going great. Bernice has joined us as well. I think she's gonna monitor.
Oh, very good. Excellent. Have you a speaker on there? Have you?
I did have a speaker. I was trying to connect it, and it's not working because as you were talking initially, and it was coming in really low, so I don't know what's going on.
I'm getting some sort of feedback there.
Oh, I don't know what's going on with the
Can you hear it at your end?
No, sounds good to me.
That should be good then. Yeah, so you're probably watching the introduction there, saying about how we first met last year, and then it was actually twice last year, and I remember thinking I've been talking to this guy for 4 years now, and when I meet him in person, he's an absolute asshole. So, an asshole.
Well, I can be an asshole, but yeah, it calls Bernice shaking her head. Yes.
I would
Tom
imagine
and
Bernice
Tracy,
would
guys.
agree.
Say again.
I would imagine Bernice would agree.
Oh yeah, that should be in the background shaking her head like, oh yeah, 2000 RPM, 4, she gave me 4.
Excellent. So, you're obviously a Volkswagen guy. You've been a Volkswagen guy quite some time. What was your first one?
So first car I ever bought with my own money was an '84 Rabbit GTI in high school. We'll rewind the
Starting
clock a
off
little.
strong.
Say again.
Starting off strong.
Yeah, it was a great car. Found it in Auto Trader. Had a little bit of work done to it, and picked it up locally. Went had Coney suspension, new speed springs. A little bit of work done to the 180 that was in there. New speed strut tower braids. Nice exhaust on there. Adjustable cam gear. It was fun. How long ago was this?
Yeah.
1998.
So your new speed stuff would have been fairly common at the time, as opposed to all the guys trying to hunt it down now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it was everywhere back then.
And where did you go from that then?
Where did I go from that? So joined the Navy. Sold that car to my brother. He screwed around it for a little bit, and then ended up getting rid of it. Came here to where I'm at now, Pensacola, back in 2000, and just happened to be driving around and passed a used car a lot, and it was a green metallic pearl effect 1993 Corrado SLC.
Very nice, the VR6.
We have it, the VR6 OBD1 with the distributor and everything on it.
Oh, so, proper old.
Yeah, proper old, exactly. Bought that and had nothing but problems with it.
Yeah, it's a Corrado. That's the normal.
Yeah, right. So wiring gremlins everywhere. The ABS working when it wants to work. I remember going home to New York one time and getting on the Jersey Turnpike, and it was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was racing with a Mitsubishi Eclipse, and we were getting to the toll booth, and the ABS module started acting up. So I essentially had no brakes. So
Nice.
I had to literally grab the steering wheel with two hands like that and stand on the brakes to try to get it to stop from 140 miles an hour. So
Did you get stopped?
I barely made it. I was standing on them. Like, I was literally up out of my seat on the brakes trying to get the car to stop. Because once that cuts off and the ABS light comes on, you might as well be Fresh Flintstone trying to stop the car with your bare feet.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, what was after the Corrado then?
After the Corrado, I took a long hiatus. I didn't get into any Volkswagen. I got into street bikes, and actually had a Toyota Camry as my daily driver. So very, very long hiatus until I picked up that back in 2012. So from 2002, 2003 to 2012, I didn't dabble in Volkswagens at all.
No, you were into the street bikes then?
Yeah, street bikes.
How did that go?
How did that go?
Yeah.
It went,
we know how that went.
no respect for the bike, no respect for the law. So did a lot of wheelies in Mexico, a lot of racing. Of course. Yeah. And,
so, once you come out of the bikes, then what made you look for another Volkswagen?
Well, I always wanted to get back to my roots and get back to Volkswagens. I talked with my wife about it for some time about, hey, I really want to get back into Volkswagens. I really want to build the car. At first, it would have been a Mark II because I'm a sucker for a big bumper Mark II.
Yeah.
But then, like I said, my brother had this, and he wasn't doing anything with it besides letting it rot away in his driveway. So I was like, hey, you're not going to do anything with it. I'll take it from you. I'm going to start saving my money, and I'm going to build it as to carry it on from you and go from there.
Yeah. So you got it from your brother. It wasn't stock. You had done a few things to it.
Yeah, a couple of small things. It was on suspension. It had an ABA swap that was a wiring nightmare. I don't know how anybody could mess up wiring an ABA. It would take, 6 wires, and it's been done how many times over and over and over again. But it was definitely a nightmare. It didn't run well. Barely ran at all. So I just
you sent me a photograph of the build, which wasn't exactly cheap either.
No. Oh yeah, the bill was ridiculous. It was like $6,000
for an ABA swap.
Yeah, for an ABA swap, among some other small things that he got struggled to cold for that they did to the car. So
that's crazy.
Not $6,000 worth of work.
So, as the car sits at the minute, it's clipper kitted and has a ton of work done to it. Can you describe how it was when you got it?
It was a Wolfsburg edition of Starlight Blue with a red clipper kit on it. So blue with a red clipper. It looked amazing.
Sure, beautiful.
Homemade door cards. I said barely running ABA, no backseat. Slight rust, no like major rot throughout any of the car. I'm surprised because it was a New York car and they use a lot of stuff on the roads. Yeah. So I was pleasantly surprised that there wasn't any major rust repair on it.
So knowing you, how do I put it politely? You have a touch of OCD.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Yeah. We've heard stories of how you like your socks to be folded a particular way. I hear Bernice laughing.
I didn't know we were going down this road.
Yeah, so no, what I'm thinking is a car like that coming to you was never going to fly, was it?
No, definitely not. I knew it was going to be stripped down to bare metal restoration right from the beginning. Like there was no way anything was going to stay the way it was.
And has it turned out the way you had originally envisioned, or did it kind of go off on a tangent, or had you an exact thing of what you wanted?
It definitely, as the build started to progress and I started doing more and more research and getting back into the game full-fledged, there's new products kept coming up that I wanted to get. So what I set my budget at initially and where it went might be maybe $1,000 off.
Oh yeah. Oh, close enough.
He said add a zero.
Yeah, I would imagine so. So, um, the spec as it stands, you've a engine swapped, 20 valve turbo, you've the clipper kit fitted properly, full respray, wire tuck, air ride, splits. Like everything's been touched in this car, but
Every,
would I be right in saying that not everything went right?
oh boy. So am I allowed to say names and blast people in this forum? I don't.
You blast away, I don't care.
Oh boy. I think most of the viewers now logged in are probably on that side of the pond. But don't ever bring your car to wow, I'm even drawing a blank on the name. That's how bad they are. Anyway, it's a shop in Chesapeake, Virginia, that you probably never want to bring your car to ever. So I paid him to wire tuck, um, get their engine running, tune it, and get everything squared away for it to leave the shop a running, driving, beautifully done car. And the shop came very highly recommended to a couple of people in Virginia. So I was like, all right, well, if these guys are recommending the car who have been in the Volkswagen game for probably just as long as I've been, and this gentleman is older and he's been around for quite some time too, that, why would I have any problems with the car? So
Yeah.
I was still living in Maryland, and I was having a buddy and him take care of the car in Virginia, which is about 4 hours away. So it's not like I could hop up on the car every day and check on it. So I was, trusting people to do the right thing,
Yeah.
and that wasn't the case at all. So if you want to see pictures of what a $5,000 hack job looks like, please go onto my page and scroll down a couple, and you'll see pictures of the wire tuck that this gentleman did on my car.
Yeah, it was actually, I wouldn't say it's crazy, it was scary because that was a fire waiting to happen.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
definitely. He was using jumping wires on the fuse box that was already starting to scorch. I mean, who knows how many more times after trying to start it that cable would have caught fire and probably burned my whole car down to the ground.
nice.
Prior to me enjoying it one time.
No, that's crazy. So obviously you had a lot of problems with the car, and Matt at Eurocraft did a lot of work to help with that, didn't he?
Yeah, 4 thumbs up to Matt at Eurocraft. He's an absolute master of his craft. He is responsible for the way the car looks now, along with my friend in Virginia, who did a lot of good work here, and Eric Cash out of Virginia for painting it. But absolutely, Matt, best there is. Absolutely. No
No,
question
that's
about it.
good. A lot of people get recommendations, but there's very few who you would trust totally, and he's definitely one of them.
I mean, you can just look at the pedigrees of cars that come out of his stable and are on the street. Right? So,
Yeah, I remember standing at the prize giving with you and Lee at Alpine Vag Fair, and Matt walked past, and Corey had said he's probably responsible for 99% of the cars running on that show field, which
yeah,
people laugh, but it was true.
yeah, absolutely
So,
true.
do you want to give us a tour around the car then?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get to it. And I actually have a little surprise. I don't know if you saw it yet, but I prepped both cars for
Very
for the
nice.
track. I got it. Yeah, I got it. So we'll walk through. What you just caught a little glimpse of there is a 1970s Pine electric car that at Doslag, Brock Bickford, built for my son.
Shout out to Brock, it's a good guy.
Yeah, modeled it after my car. So he had some wheels, 3D printed, some BBSs, same color as my car. I mean, everything, even down to the front lift that he did.
Yeah, I remember you showed me photos of as pretty much as he was doing it, and Brock's one of those guys that can just kind of turn his hand to anything and just make something work, and it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. He did an outstanding job. So I guess we'll go front to back.
Yeah, certainly, work away.
So you're already talking about the motor, 180, 20 valve, like you said. It is an AGU code, so an engine code that comes from your side of the pond. Sourced
European
from
import.
Jamie. Yeah, sourced from Jamie over at Orchid Euro. So most of the stuff, it had like a lot of the evap and stuff delete on it already, so that's why I chose it, because it would have been less stuff for me to have to delete already, so it was just easier.
Yeah.
Um,
And what spec are you running that then? Obviously, you don't have the standard turbo on it.
No, not a standard turbo. KO4 XL, so slightly bigger than your standard KO4. Had some head work done at Abacus Racing, so a port and polish. That Abacus Racing is in Virginia. Bigger injectors, all the supporting mods for going with the KO4 on the 180 for the early model 180. Front mount intercooler, nice big fat intercooler piping. I did a billet oil filter housing on it. That was one of the things that I had found that wasn't in my price range, but I said I'm gonna get it anyway because.
Yeah, no, it's one of those cars that you look around and there's so many details that you don't notice. You have to go looking for to see them, but they're all there.
So went with a smaller alternator. That's from Iabed Industries. So got rid of the. Say again.
Up in Canada, isn't it?
Yeah, up in Canada. He's up in Canada. So I got rid of the power steering. Obviously, the AC is all gone, and that little bracket right there connected to that racing alternator, so dropped it way lower, and just the one rib belt right there. That's made it to a G60 O2A trans, powder coated by Shore Polish Frank. Mark IV VR6 gear set, clutch masters, stage 3 clutch, which probably was a little bit of overkill, but I plan on going big turbo one day, so it'll be just enough.
Yeah, at least you know it's done.
Yeah, Pelican diff.
So, what sort of horsepower are you running?
You know, that's a good question. Matt, being a master mechanic, his butt dyno said he's like, I should be floating around 270, maybe 280 horsepower.
And in a car that light, it's crazy. Like, we went out with you on the Euro cruise shoot after Alpine, and like 3 up in the heat, and that thing just was pulling all day. Yeah,
she's a good time. She's rowdy. She's rowdy.
Oh,
so suspension-wise, you mentioned I had Source and Autotech strut bar. I had that sent off and fully polished to match the rest of the fully polished bits I have all throughout the engine bay. Made it to Airlift V2 performance struts front and rear. On the front for brake wise, '60 10.1 front. Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep, got you back.
Yep. So G60 10.1 brakes up front. Rocco 16 valves in the rear with Mark IV calipers.
Sorry, I see Andy Maxwell asking what turbo.
RS047. What turbo? KO4 XL. Put it by FTG Motorsports. He was an Audi guy. You can look him up on AutoZine if you Audi Zine if you want to hear the story of how he screwed over a bunch of people. But I've had no problems with the turbo.
Excellent. Yeah. Sorry. So you were saying it was breaking up there. You have the Airlift V2 and 15-inch RSs, isn't it?
Yep, 15-inch RSs, 047s, 7-inch in the front, 8-inch in the rear, and about 3 degrees of camber to get them to tuck up underneath there when I'm all aired out.
Yeah, I remember that was quite a struggle to get it to sit right, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of pulling and a little bit more shaving to get it to sit underneath there without having to completely redo the wheels.
And can you pull back for like a side shot of the car?
Yeah, absolutely.
Very nice. And one person you mentioned earlier was Eric Cash. He was the guy that painted it for you.
Yeah, Eric Cash or Eric Shively. He owns Precision Fit and Finish now down in Suffolk, Virginia. He's responsible for the paint, and shaving the entire bed.
It's the paint job in that car is amazing. It's generally one of the best painted cars I've ever seen.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, he did a very good job. I appreciate Eric, and if I were ever to build another car again, he'd probably paint it as well.
Are you able? Can you get a picture of the like a close up of the fleck in the paint?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we should have some good lighting in here. See it, no problem. There you go.
Yeah, you can see the gold fleck in it.
Yeah, so nice and shiny.
So, I think the color of this car is actually what got us started talking originally, because I seen you building the car and asked you what color it was, and then I think that's what kicked off our long-term friendship.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they always ask me, like, oh, this green is amazing. I'm like, all right, well, now I'm going to tell you where this green came from. So if everybody thinks back, well, I don't know if you guys had them over there, but 1990-ish, let's go just the 90s era, Chevy Cavalier. This is an OEM GM color. And all it is, the color name is green.
Yeah, so they went all out on that.
Yeah, nothing fancy at all. And the green was selected as an ode to my Corrado.
Very nice. No, the green's perfect on it. Do you want to give us a few shots of the interior then?
Yep, absolutely. Go to the interior. Fully retrimmed the interior. From the dash, covered in leather, red stitching. Relocated the gauges from usually where they're at in the center console up to the top.
Yeah.
Momentum Motorsports, Robin Varley actually made that HVAC delete panel for me and the gauge panel. So shout out to him for doing that. He did it in that like that OEM-ish finish, like that wrinkle-ish. I can't remember exactly what you call it, but he matched it perfect.
He has an amazing mark himself, also green.
Oh, yes, he does. So relocated the radio down to the center console, trimmed the knee bars, the door cards, sourced real Recaro gradient material for the door cards, front and back seats. Even the little pull for the rear seats is made out of that as well. Right there.
Yeah, it's details like that to set the car off.
I was lucky enough to come across this lucky leprechaun who had a Polo that he wasn't using, and was gracious enough to send me these nice red and black seat belts.
Yeah, that's something you guys can't get there.
No, not at all. And sent those off to Seatbelt Planet to have them put on the stock reels. So there they are. I like them. It kind of breaks up the dark in the car. And, you know, they're kind of tucked out of the way when they're not on, so it's not like a real big drawer, but enough to, like, accent the interior, I think. I like it.
Nice. It ties in with the red stitching.
Exactly.
And your front seats in are the Recaro, is it LS or LSX? Is it?
LXBs with the fishnet headrests.
Yeah.
Got those. I just installed a chrome handle that I've been sitting on for quite some time, chrome e-brake handle.
And then
BFI ship arm.
The BBS wheel as well trimmed, isn't it?
Oh, yep. So BBS wheel retrimmed in the Recaro and the horn button. Did red needle.
You've actually, a lot of people you have another wheel as well. Is it a chrome Sirocco wheel?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's in the house. I can go grab that and real quick and show you guys that if you want. And
then the interior, obviously, you guys call it the trunk because you're wrong with the boot.
The boot?
You have a setup in there too.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing a lot of people don't color. So this comes with like a big ugly foam pad on the top, and I just pulled it and had it color matched as well. So across the top. Well, small details before we walk to the back. Fully chromed triangle windows too. What a pain in the butt that was to pull the entire thing out. Yeah, nightmare. I don't recommend it. It's worth it, but I don't recommend it. So off to the boot. So stole some more styling cues off for you guys out there. I wanted to put the rear fog light back there. Yes, it's on the wrong side, but I wasn't going to chop another hole in the left side when the right side had a perfectly good hole in it already. So I just popped that in there. Nice and simple, clean boot, aka trunk. Wrapped once tank color matched and wrapped in the Recaro material. And boxed out. What's hidden back there is all my air management, a 10-inch sub, an amp, and a battery.
Nice.
Can't see any of it.
And it's one of those cars, though. Well, I'm going to say it's a show car. You've literally won best of show in this car, but it gets used on the daily. You there?
You there? Do I got you? Yeah.
There we go. So I'm saying
okay.
It's one of those cars. It's undoubtedly an out-and-out show car, but it also gets used and used hard.
Yeah, I might drive it a little bit. I was scared at first to drive it as much as I did, but it's been nothing but reliable for me now. So I take it, 2.5 hours one way. That's probably the furthest I've gone, but she gives me no problems. It runs nice and strong.
To be fair, if you drove 2.5 hours in this country, you'd probably be hit the sea.
Yeah. I also put a little chrome pull. This is for the back seats. Back seat release. So nice little polished pull on there as well.
Do you want to talk about the screws in your fender liners?
Oh, yeah. Wow. Another small detail. Okay. Yeah, so they had big, ugly sheet metal screws. We'll go to the front ones. Those are a little bit better.
Yeah.
They were hideous. So I scoured the internet for some stuff, and I noticed somebody else do it as well. So I sourced some nice stainless bolts and washers from McMaster Car and put those on there as well. So it's a nice little touch, better than it was.
Yeah, definitely. And I remember you sent me the photos of this when you were doing it, and seeing other cars in and looking and go, even my own car, and looking and going, this is ugly, or you can see like rust on them, or they're just not perfect.
Mm-hmm. You got me sweating now, dude. I'm dying out here. Welcome back to Florida in this nasty humidity.
Yeah, I was wet too, but it was raining.
Yeah, it was raining earlier. It's kind of been on and off today. It's super nasty humid, but it is what it is.
Yeah, you chose to live there.
That I did. But coming in the next couple of months, it's going to be absolutely beautiful.
Yep, and with any luck, we'll be over in February to see you.
Absolutely, yeah. And really looking forward to it.
Oh, another thing about your car, you don't have wipers?
No wipers. Rain-X.
And for those who don't know, in Florida, there's no inspection, so you can get away with things like that.
Florida. So when they talk about America being the home of the free, I think they were just talking about Florida, because you can literally get away with anything down here. They didn't even see this car when I registered it. I literally. Frozen.
So you're back.
I got your back.
Yep, you're back.
Okay, so literally just sent them all the paperwork in the mail, and they just mailed me the registration.
So they don't even see it at all?
Never saw it.
That's crazy. No, we wouldn't get away with things like that. One thing I always wanted to do was bin the wipers off in the car, and well, your car's proof of it. Like, you can use it. Rain-X the windscreen, and it'll cheat off.
Yeah, absolutely.
I see
Michael
Hughes saying there.
Going back to the motor, so end up stuffing a 3-inch downpipe on there to a 2.5-inch Tectonics tuning exhaust with a boiler muffler. So it Gets all the
Yeah.
gases out the back pretty well.
That's a tight squeeze in a Mark 1 down below the rack, isn't it?
Oh yeah. We can actually see it. I'll show you that. So I can't even get a finger between the steering rack and the downpipe right there.
Yeah, that's tight.
Yeah, nice and tight. Don't we all like it that way?
Oh, of course. So just when you're there in the bay, can you show us the under the where the wipers would have been? Because you've removed the rain.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so
perfect.
Nice, and that light isn't working worth the shit, is it? Excuse me. Pardon me. So yeah, all just nice, clean shave. So that would be the fresh air hole would have been right there.
Yeah.
And all the way across. That's where the wiper bracket would have been and mounted. And just all across.
Nice. I see Gathens there saying, can you say hi to his son Matthew, because he doesn't believe that you're live in America at the minute.
Matthew, hello. Good evening to you over there. Good afternoon to us over here.
There's the belief.
There it is.
So yeah, one thing I've noticed as well is I'm asking you to show you around the car. There's literally no hesitation. You know, I can say about the downpipe and you just stick a camera straight in because you know this thing is super clean.
Oh yeah, I know. Whatever you want to see. Even if it wasn't, I'd still show you. I mean, you could see stuff, imperfections that I didn't fix from the first person who touched my car, like leaving rib nuts there and there's a dead bee. There you go. But yeah, I have no problems.
That's amazing.
It is what it is.
So what's next for it?
That's what happens when you drive your car right there, huh?
Oh God.
Oh.
If that was the worst thing on my car, I'd be delighted.
You have no idea the stress that gave me right there.
Oh, I know the stress that gave you because I hear all about it.
Well, hello to Nigel's dog who is licking his head as he's just home from work. Which head?
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
A lucky man.
Yeah, which head? Well, poor Nigel. And that's it. So what else do you want to talk about? We got time or what?
What's next?
Yeah.
What's next to the cat?
What's next? I want to do a CAE Ultra Shifter. I'm tired of reaching way down to shift the car. Even though
terrible.
with the Diesel Geek Sigma 5 on there and the OTJ tower, it's nice and notchy and short. But I think having to sit up and nice CAE would be really good in there.
Will the CAE work with the Diesel Geek's ends?
So I've talked to people. I'm getting conflicting reviews on whether to leave it on there or to take it off. So they said the throw percentage of what it would be with the Diesel Geek and the CAE would be down to like an 80% drop on the shift.
Yeah, that's not a lot.
That's that's probably like a total of 3 inches travel to get through all gears.
So what you're telling me is, if you do the CAE, you're going to sell me your Diesel Geeks cheap?
You're breaking up?
You're going to sell me this Diesel Geek shifter cheap?
It's, I can't remember how much, 100 something?
No, I'm saying if you go for CAE, you're going to sell me this Diesel Geek shifter cheap?
Maybe.
Happy. See Gathens and DSG it. That would be interesting in a Mark 1.
Yeah, there you go. Missing a bunch of... Trying to look through the chat and see if anybody else has said anything shout-out wise or anything else. Hello, Lee. Thanks for checking in. I know you're probably sitting right next to Connor.
No, she's in the other room. I'm in the room of horrible curtains.
Oh. Well, nobody can talk shit about those curtains if they listen to the podcast because you have something for them.
Exactly. dead grandmother's curtains. You can't talk shit about those. Oh, dear. Right. Well, I'm going to let you go. Thanks very much for joining us.
Absolutely. It's been great. I appreciate everybody who tuned in and checked it out. I apologize for the hour and a half late start because I can't math too well. I might be a little bit retarded, but
yeah,
it is what it is, right?
It's you slow Americans.
Yeah, and I should know better, right? I do concentrations for a job, with air traffic control. But whatever.
Details in your job mean a lot.
Yeah, that would be a big detail.
Yeah. Lovely. Well, thanks very much.
Cheers. Thanks, man.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Later. Hang this shit up.
Yeah, well, there we go. Straight from Florida. Whether Gethin's son Matthew believes it or not. As we talked about over and over again, the car is absolutely amazing. Raf himself's a good guy too. He is super clinical, super OCD with things, and like he'll message me the likes of those fender screws. He messaged me and was like, "Yeah, I've got these," and I thought, "Yeah, that's cool. It's nice details like that." He messaged me the next day, "Oh, they're terrible. I hate these. This has to be done this way," and everything is just overthunk on that car, but you can see it in it, like it blows everything out of the water. So now it's great to get a look around it. So while it's not exactly locked down, I think we should maybe continue these. And if anybody else has a car they want to get a look around, give us a shout and we can do it. The latest podcast episode is out currently as well. We have Butsy Butler, it's a Monster Energy sponsored drifter. We have interviews with him, and next week as well. Well, this Saturday we're recording, so we'll have one out next week as well. Don't forget to check out Reload Global as well, our sponsor. There's a lot of cool shit on there. Clothing, workshop banners, everything. Give them a shout. And thanks very much for checking us out. See you later.